So if you're thinking about moving to Denver, you've probably already Googled it. You found that there's 300 days of sunshine, access to skiing, craft breweries, and the booming job market. And all of that is real. But there are things that relocation guides consistently leave out. Things that catch people off guard in their first few weeks or months here. And I've been working with buyers relocating for years. And today I'm going to give you the version nobody else is giving you. The honest one. So I'm DC Turner with Navigating Denver, and I'm a licensed real estate agent serving buyers and sellers across the Denver metro. And I've helped a number of people make this move. So let's get into it. So the first thing that nobody adequately prepares you for is the altitude. See, Denver sits at exactly 5,280 feet above sea level. That's where the nickname Mile High City comes from. But the altitude is not just a fun fact on a license plate. It's something your body has to physically adjust to, and that adjustment is real. So most people moving from sea level or lower elevations will feel some combination of headaches, fatigue, shortness of breath, and disrupted sleep for the first few days or even weeks. Some people breeze through it, others are generally surprised by how wiped out they feel during their first week unpacking boxes. The practical tips. Drink significantly more water than you think you need. The air here is dry and thin, and you will dehydrate faster than you realize. So go easy on alcohol your first few days because it hits harder at altitude. And do not plan your first mountain hike for a day or two. Give your body time. There's also a subtler, longer-term piece to this. Sunscreen matters more year-round. The UV exposure at elevation is genuinely higher than at sea level, even on overcast days. And if you're a runner, a cyclist, or anyone who works outdoors, your fitness will feel like it went backwards for a few weeks. It comes back, and most people say they feel better long-term once they adapt, but plan for the adjustment. So the weather in Denver is genuinely great. 300 days of sunshine per year is real. That ranks Denver ahead of Miami and Los Angeles in annual sunny days. But there is a version of the Denver weather that the tourism board does not advertise. Denver is in what climatologists call Hail Alley. From roughly April through September, hailstorms roll through the metro with surprising regularity. These are not gentle spring showers. Denver has seen hailstones the size of golf balls or even baseballs. If you have a nice car, you're going to want covered parking. And if you are buying a home here, you should have a conversation with your insurance agent about hail coverage before you need it. The second weather reality is temperature swings. Denver can be 65 degrees and sunny on Tuesday and have a foot of snow on Thursday. The locals have a phrase for it. If you don't like the weather in Colorado, wait 20 minutes. And that's only a slight exaggeration. The snow itself is generally not the Seattle drizzle that hangs around for days. Denver gets big, fluffy snowstorms that often melt within 24 to 48 hours because the sun comes right back out. But during those storms, the roads get serious and you need to know how to drive in it. Four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive is not required, but it's recommended, especially if you plan to spend any time in the mountains. So the short version is the weather is mostly wonderful. Just stop packing before one climate and start packing for four. So let's talk about money, because this is where a lot of people's expectations get recalibrated. Denver is not cheap, and the cost of living runs somewhere between 10 and 25% above the national average, depending upon which index you are looking at. Housing is the primary driver of that number, and it is the category that surprises people most when they arrive. If you're coming from New York, San Francisco, or Seattle, Denver is going to feel genuinely affordable by comparison. Your dollar goes further and your commute times are generally shorter. If you're coming from the Midwest or the South, Denver may feel meaningfully more expensive than what you're used to. So the good news on taxes, Colorado has a flat state income tax of 4.4%, which is straightforward and not the highest in the country by far. Property taxes here are among the lowest in the nation, which matters a lot when you're buying a home. And if you're relocating from Texas specifically, and a lot of buyers are, you will actually find that Colorado's lower property taxes often offset the state income tax you will be paying for the first time. Utilities run below the national average for most households. Denver does not have the brutal humidity of the South or the brutal winters of the Midwest, so your heating and cooling bills are generally manageable. Groceries run slightly above average. Gas prices in Colorado fluctuate but tend to be competitive with the broader western region. The category that catches people most off guard is housing. Not just the purchase price, but the speed of the market in certain neighborhoods and the difference in what a given budget gets you depending upon which suburb you land in. Which brings me to a point I will come back to. So here's the truth that locals know and the relocation guides underplay. Denver traffic is real. The average commute time in Denver is about 35 minutes. And that's not Los Angeles, but it's also not an effortless 15-minute drive. I-25 through the city core is a known bottleneck during morning and evening rush hour. In the Tech Center corridor, the stretch between downtown and the south suburbs can back up hard in both directions during peak times. The RTT light rail and bus system exists and connects a number of the suburbs to downtown fairly well, but outside of the core transit corridors, public transportation does not cover the metro comprehensively enough to replace a car for most people. Denver is primarily a driving city, and you should factor commute routes and times into your neighborhood decision before you commit to a location. Now, pro tip for someone who has watched a lot of buyers make this mistake, do not just look at how far a neighborhood is from the office on a map. Drive the actual route at the actual time you would be commuting. The distance and the drive time can be very different things on I-25 at 8 in the morning. So this one is specific to Denver and it matters. One of the biggest draws for people moving here is the mountain access. Vail, Breckenridge, Keystone, the Arapahoe Basin, world-class skiing within an hour or two of the city. And it's genuinely as good as advertised when you get there. The part that gets left out is that I-70 on a Friday afternoon or a Saturday morning in ski season. That corridor into the mountains can back up 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours. People who move here dreaming of spontaneous weekend ski trips quickly learn that if you want to be on the mountain by 9 a.m. on Saturday, you need to be leaving Denver at 5 a.m. or you're going to be stuck sitting in traffic. The locals who use the mountains most frequently have figured out the rhythm. Weekdays whenever possible, early departures on the weekends, or late Saturday arrivals back to the city. If your job allows flexibility, the mountains are as accessible as advertised. If you're locked into a rigid weekend schedule, temper your expectations on how often you will actually get up there during the peak season. Denver and its suburbs are not just one market. They are many markets, each with a different character, price point, school district, and lifestyle profile. Inside the city of Denver, you have everything from the walkable urban energy of Rhino and Lohi to the family-oriented, quiet East Colfax and Harvey Park to the prestige zip codes of Wash Park and Congress Park. School quality and home values vary significantly from one neighborhood to the next, sometimes within just a few blocks. Then you have the suburbs. And this is where I spend a lot of time helping relocation buyers. Centennial and Highlands Ranch in the south give you top-tier schools and quiet suburban polish. Arvada to the west gives you historic character, light rail access, and a slightly lower price point. Lakewood puts you closest to the mountains. Broomfield attracts tech workers and offers newer development and corporate campuses. And Littleton gives you the small-town feel with full metro access. None of these is the right answer for everyone. The right answer depends on where you work, what school matters to you, what your lifestyle looks like on a Tuesday evening, and how much your budget gets you in each area. A relocation buyer who picks a neighborhood based on one visit and a Google search often ends up wishing they had taken more time with that decision. Denver's job market is one of the legitimate strengths of the city and a big reason people keep coming. The unemployment rate in the metro sits around 3.4%, meaningfully below the national average. The economy is anchored by aerospace. Denver ranks first among all major metros for private aerospace employment. Technology, healthcare, clean energy, and professional services round out that diversified base that has helped the metro stay resilient through economic cycles that hit other cities harder. Colorado projects meaningful job and GDP growth through 2026, outpacing the national average. And the median tech wage in the Denver metro is approaching $104,000, which tells you something about the income profile of the people flooding into this market. The relocation traffic is real. Most of it's coming from California, Texas, Illinois, and other parts of the Northeast. People relocating from coastal markets consistently find that their housing dollar goes meaningfully further here, even with Denver's elevated prices. And the lifestyle trade they are making and trading urban density and commute time for mountain access and sunshine tends to be one they do not regret. So let me end with the question I get asked most by relocation buyers. Should I live in Denver proper or in the suburbs? The honest answer is it depends entirely on your lifestyles and your priorities, and there's no wrong answer. But here's the framework I give buyers. If you want walkability, proximity to restaurants, and nightlife, a shorter commute to downtown, and you are comfortable with a smaller or older home for the same dollar, the city is probably right for you. If you have kids or are planning a family, if a school district quality is a top priority, if you want newer construction or more square footage for your money, or if your job is in the south or southeast suburbs, the suburbs are almost certainly going to serve you better. The mistake I see most often is buyers who move to the city because it seems exciting, and then 3 years later move to the suburbs because their life has changed. Not a tragedy, but if you can think through your 5-year picture before you buy, you'll end up in the right place the first time. Look, Denver is genuinely a great place to live. The sunshine is real, the mountains are real, the job market is real, and the quality of life is real. I live and work here, and I believe in this market deeply. But I also believe that buyers who make the best decisions are the ones who go in with accurate expectations, not just the highlight reel. If you found this useful, I do a full monthly market report covering prices and conditions across the metro. So hit subscribe if you want to see those numbers every month. And if you're planning to move to the Denver area and want to talk through neighborhoods, budget, and what the market looks like right now, reach out. I work with a lot of relocation buyers, and I love helping people land in the right place from the start. So find me at www.navigatingdenver.com, and I'll see you in the next one.